Howdy guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to another video of Westland Survival. How are we doing? Hope you guys are well. So today what I would like to do is I'm going to take you along with me. We're going to head out to the Interfluve so we can hopefully collect a gear item that I haven't had the pleasure of owning. So hopefully we get one of those today, but I also want to have a quick chat with you today and give you my thoughts and impressions on the update 6.2. So a few things had happened within that this particular update. So just before we head off, let's make sure we are all covered and all ready to go. I think we are. I think I've got a reasonable amount of heals. Let me have a look at that. 5 it is. So yeah, actually, you know what? I think I might have 1 or 2 brewing in the background. So I'm going to go grab those while we have a bit of a chat. So update 6.2. Okay, so what they did was they simplified the what do you call it? The metal parts. So basically, there's no rivets, there's no nails, there's no plates. It's all one thing, and they've named it or dubbed it as fasteners. So you've got that. We've also got the simplification. Let me just finish those off and take it with me. And they've removed the culinary and the what was the other? It was a culinary. The culinary workbench, and also the food production for workbench from the ranching update. So I had mine over here. So this allowed us to make feeds, basically refine meats and things of that nature. So I wanted to have a bit of a chat with that as we sort of do our little bits and pieces over in the Interfluve. So yeah, basically this is, I guess, it's my my review time of the update. So initial impressions naturally went out to the first couple of videos that I made, but now this is more of a what my thoughts are once I've sort of had time to digest it. And also they did state that they increase the iron ore in the iron mines, so there was that as well. So okay, so let's sort of break it down. And also there's achievements. Okay, so let's start with that, achievements. So in my opinion, achievements are a cool little thing. I mean, oh, okay, my dude needs to fire up here before we get started. Are you happy now, buddy? I think you're happy now. Okay, so yeah, all right, so achievements, cool. So you get little badges, things like that, to show off to other people in the game. And it's, you know, however you want to sort of put it, it's a flex, right? It's a flex to show you what you've done and show others what you've actually accomplished in the game. Whether that's important to you, that's up to you. That's down to your interpretation, right? So for me, I don't see it being much of a muchness for me. You know, I would like to say, what I would like to see from badges is, I guess for me, it would be more around utilizing certain badges gives you, I guess, I don't know, certain buffs, right? So if you were to use a certain badge, then cool, it enables you to have some sort of buff that no one else has unless if they've obtained the same. So, you know, okay, let's say for example, I killed, I don't know, 5 or 10 white alligators, right, in the swamp or in the cultist camp, for example. Something extreme, yeah? Okay, so if I had done that, or if I've accomplished that, the merit would be, in, as this example would go, you know, 10, 15, 20 extra spirit points or something to that nature. Or the ability for you to harvest more fine meats from that specific animal, as an example, okay? So, you know, I reckon something like that should be implemented, or I guess as a way to say, you've accomplished this, this is your reward, you know. So I guess in this sense, rewarding those higher end gamers, I guess, in that context, right? So it's not specific to that, but I mean also if I were to say harvest 10,000 wood, for example, whether that be let's say maple, for example, as this example, right? Harvest that amount, then I should have a permanent buff if I were to add that badge to get 2 per harvest, or so instead of getting 3 per node, you get 6, as as that example there. So things like that I wouldn't mind seeing, and obviously it goes for other things as well, whether that be breeding, whether that be being the master of your ranch in terms of ranching, so farming, things like that, right? So I reckon that, I guess utilizing the achievement system, that's what I think should happen. And obviously this is the first iteration of it. You're not going to have everything, I guess, added or thought of, or whatever it might be in the game, so I feel like that could be something that could happen further down the line. So that's what I'm thinking. It's a good thing, but like I said, if I were to make an improvement to it, that's what I would do in future updates. So that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about that one in the comment section down below. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to tackle the increased iron ore in the iron mine. Okay, for me, I haven't seen too much increase of iron, and yes, like I have done a few good runs at it, but I just haven't seen the return on investment. That's just my opinion. So I just don't think I've seen anything that's going to be tangible for me to say, okay, it's worth it. Don't get me wrong, it is worth it because you need it. You absolutely need to go into the iron mine, because otherwise you're not going to survive in this game, right? So but for me, that's just my opinion. I feel like there needs to be a notable increase with regards to iron in the mine. But I mean, come on, I was only able to get less than 30 pieces of iron in my first run, and then it took me 4 to 5 goes to get to about 200. So if you were to do the laws of averages on that, it'll be at least between 50 to 60 per run. And for me, I just didn't see that as a viable, I guess, as a worthwhile venture, because it just wasn't there for me personally. But yeah, that's just my opinion on that. I feel like that could be looked at, and I have been harping on it as well. We need an increase to heals, because I am not seeing 30% increases. And this was for the update prior. Okay, so this was part of the achievements update. I just don't see it. I know a lot of people share the same sentiment as well, and I just feel like it just hasn't happened yet. And I feel like I have had it that the developers have acknowledged my feedback as well, more notably in my previous video. So yes, it is a bit of an additional, I guess, in addition to what I have been sort of talking about as well. And I feel like this, will be sort of heard, and I feel like something like this will be addressed with future updates as they sort of come along. So yeah, look, it's nice to know that the developers do actually take feedback and I guess constructive criticism quite well, and you've seen it in the past, right? So I feel like it's going to be a plus for us eventually. And once the next update comes around, depending on what's going to be available, but I mean, I feel like there's going to be some changes and things like that to come. It may not necessarily happen within the next update, but I feel like it's going to happen probably the one after, or probably even the one after that, possibly. We shall see. It's always going to be a thing. So, just, I guess, watch this space. That's all I can say. But yeah, what else? We had, the tool was broken. Okay. What else did we have? We had. Okay, so the removal of the bait, or not the bait, sorry, the food processing bench and the culinary bench. To me, I feel like that was a massive loss. I feel like they should have definitely retained those. And for me, I like the fact that I can actually manufacture it, you know, seeds and things like that, or feed for my pets. So they've definitely stunted that that part of that game aspect, or that game mechanic, and I feel like they could actually return to that. That's just my opinion on that. But yeah, I'm not too fond of that. I would prefer that they had actually left that in the game. That's just my opinion. I feel like they should have done that, but that's just me. Short, sharp and sweet. I feel like they should have kept that, because there's no option now to sort of you know, create those feeds. So yeah, I'm not too sure why they did that in the first place, but who knows, right? Who bloody knows? Have I forgotten anything? I'm just trying to think. I probably have, honestly. To be honest, there wasn't too much going on within the update, but there was notable changes within the said update to sort of make that. Oh, did I get Mespring? Oh, cool. So I actually haven't had that before, so I'm happy to have grabbed that. Perfect. We've got some extra heals, fasteners. I'm going to have to come back for all this. Let's see if I can just take all for the moment. And let's head out and open up the door. But yeah, I know it sort of sounds and appears like there's a bit of negativity towards it. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make it negative. What I'm sort of trying to incite is that there were some good things, but they've taken some things away, in my opinion, that they possibly should have kept. But also, look, improvements, yes. Nice little changes, yes. Should they go back on a few things? Possibly. But like I said, I feel like there is opportunity. There's always going to be opportunity. And I think that's the key thing here. I'm going to leave that here because I do not care about the longbow at all. I'm going to go back down in the mines, considering I got myself another pickaxe. And I should have taken one with me in the first place. But happy medium. I'm going to use theirs and not mine, as a reward sake. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the rest of this, because why the hell not? Because I need steel. But yeah, look, update, great. I feel like they've noted a few things. The simplification really for that's the other thing. Simplification for the ingot parts, right? So let's call them ingot parts. So we're talking nails and we're talking plates. And they've combined it and made fasteners. I think that's a good move, and I feel like that will help out in the long run as well. And I'm already sort of starting to see it in regards to, you know, when you're manufacturing weapons and things like that, it's a little bit easier because you've got that one less ingredient that you need in order for you to craft. So I feel like that's a win. So I guess there's some give and take there when you sort of think about it, when you sort of peel back the layers, so to speak. I feel like they've sort of done that in a good way. I guess that's a good thing that they've done. And it's not more expensive to manufacture the fasteners as well. So I guess that's probably the other win as well, because you would have needed 2 per nail, 2 per... let me rephrase that. So in order to make plates, you needed 2 ingots to make the 1 plate, and then you needed 1-to-1 ratio for plate to nails, if that makes sense. So there's that. And I feel like that's, I guess in a way that was a positive outcome. So I feel like that they've done that in the best way possible. So yeah, happy with that, I feel. But otherwise, like I said, I feel like there needs to be some tune-ups with regards to iron production. And I have heard people say this as well, and I think I experienced this as well in my previous video, that in the chromite mine, there had been some what appears to be a decrease in chromite. So I guess that's something else that could be looked at as well. And again, I feel like when they do these things as well, it's not out of sheer randomness. There is always a method to the madness, as people would say. So I'm not too sure what that looks like just yet, but I feel like that's something that needs to be sort of discussed or even just mentioned. So I feel like that's another thing as well. That was worth noting. But like I said, I feel like restricting the ability to make feed and things like that, it needs to be here, because I would like to make cow feed, and the fact that I can't make it, or there's no recipe option. If the developers actually implemented a recipe option here, then yeah, 100%. I think that I don't think that table is required at all. But the fact that it's not here, or they've sealed that option off to not give us the ability to actually make all feeds, whether it's chicken, cow, or horse feed. But yeah, I feel like that's a big miss, and that's just my opinion with it. So I'm not too sure why they've done that in the first place. They said it was all to do with simplifying things and making things a lot easier. I just don't see it. Personally, that's just my opinion. But again, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about that. What I do like is the reharvesting button as well. So especially if you go into here and you got the top here, you've got the harvest button up top there, which I feel is probably a really good implementation to the game. So that's just my opinion again, but I feel like that was a little bit of a win. And where is my horsey? My horsey, I've got to go back to my horsey because I want that spring, and I want to drop that into the table. There we go. Beautiful. And actually, what I didn't get to do, and I haven't actually done it yet from my last video up until now, was I had done a raid, and I needed to drop the. I've actually found a safe, so it should be open well and truly by now. So we'll definitely go out and see what we get from that too as part of that little reward. But yeah, let me just where's the gear section? Let's drop the gear into there. So crafting speed is up by 8%, which is brilliant. And let us head over to here. Like I said, I feel like there just needs to be some so this is what you see for me in terms of visibility for other players in chat next to my nickname and in the leaderboards. I know some people pointed that out in my achievements video, so I appreciate you guys letting others know as well as myself. But yeah, it's cool to see that. But if you upgrade the levels, then obviously you can add and implement more. So even if you do that, and yeah, like I said, I feel like that's something that should be looked at in terms of adding a little bit of perk or buff, a little bit more incentivization to the achievements board. Because the way I see it now, it's just, and I'm not this is not discrediting the devs at all or anything like that, but it is a flex for now, and I feel like that should change in the future, depending on how they would like to implement, if they were to sort of go down that road. Whether or not that you need more than one perk, or sorry, more than one achievement in order for you to enable one perk, for example. So let's say you need 3 or you need 4 achievements, and for that you'd be able to I don't know, get 5%, 10% faster XP or something to that extent, something like that, right? I feel like that should be something that should be attainable, or there should be something there whereby if you were to get at least all 5, better access to, or cheaper access to purchasing things like scrolls or something like that, or tubes. I don't know, I'm just sort of putting things out there into the universe here, just to sort of give you guys a bit of an idea, but that's just my opinion. And the other thing I wanted to sort of quickly touch on as well, and I feel like I've gone through everything now, so I feel like I'm sort of comfortable and content with everything that I've sort of discussed with you guys today. But the last discussion I wanted to sort of have a quick chat about, and I was going to potentially put this into another video, but I don't know, let's sort of open it up now and let me hear your thoughts about it. So let's talk future updates. What would you like to see in the next update? Okay, and I feel like this is probably a good little segue for I'm sort of thinking about making these type of videos where once we've gone through the initial update, the hype and all that sort of stuff, sort of let it digest a little bit, ferment, and then from there you basically give your rationales, your thoughts, and then basically look to the future. So future update, what would I like to see? Well, basically what I want to see is, again, like I said, I feel like the increase in iron or ores in general should be increased. That's just my opinion. That's just one thing I would like to see. But I feel like there should be some updates with regards to recipes and things like that, and I have noted that. The developers have acknowledged that as well, because again, they watch my videos, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's quickly have a look and see what we got out of this. Okay, well, that's not too, that's pretty poor actually, 440. But I did get one of these, and I got some of that. So yeah, look, okay. Is it worth opening up 100 coin for? I don't think so. Doing the 24-hour thing, I feel like that's the best option. That's just me. But anyway, so going back to it, let's see what the traders got while we're floating about. So future updates. Okay, now I did see this, and this was which update? I feel like this was the 5.1 update, and there was a lot of controversy with that update. And if I remember, I'm going to put it up in the screen to try and sort of capsulate it. The developers, or whoever was the admin at the time, were doing a bit of damage controlling, let's call it. Let it slip, whether it's a slip or not, or whether it was on purpose or not, I don't know. But let's just talk about it. Tier 6. I feel like that's going to be in some sort of development phase, or they're already in that pipeline. I don't know when that's going to happen. I feel like that's going to be one of those updates that's going to be a little bit further along personally. I'm just seeing what is the purchase price for these, because these haven't changed by the looks of things, so that's fine. That's all. That hasn't changed either. I'm definitely not going to be investing in that because I need gunpowder. And Mr. McCoy, has this changed? It doesn't look like this has changed at all. This still, if I really wanted to, I can purchase an epic tube, but I'm not going to be doing that. But yeah, while we're here, tier 6, industrial. For me, I am calling it it's going to be the industrial age. Whether or not that's going to be subjected to change, that's up to the developers themselves. But I feel like the announcement or the release of Tier 6 will bring industrialization to Westland. It's sort of already started via what I've just shown you with Adam McCoy there. So I feel like that's where it's going to sort of be heading to. What that looks like, couldn't tell you. But I reckon for me, it involves the deep water. Okay, so I feel like the deep water is going to be sort of expanded, and I think that's going to be up this way. So when you're sort of looking at here, you've got the swamps, you've got the Cypress Swale, salt mines, Colson's Camp, so on and so forth. There could be some room for expansion over this way. I feel like that could be a possibility, but I feel like that's where I feel like up here up north, that's where Tier 6 is going to sort of happen. I don't think there's going to be any sort of storyline updates. I mean, they've only just recently done Chapter 5, so I think that's going to be a little while away. I would expect Chapter 6 probably start of next year. So, sorry, end of this year, start of next year. That's how I feel like the timeline's going to be. Now, look, I don't get any information from the developers in terms of timelines or what's happening or any sort of new updates or anything like that. So this is all speculation. Okay, I'm not saying that they tell me anything or anything like that, because they don't. So I can only sort of assume, and I can only sort of give you my thoughts and what I feel like what could possibly happen in the future. So that's just my opinion on it. But I guess for the immediate future, and also even the Spirit Cave, I feel like that's going to be a next year thing. I don't see that being slated to be released this year. Excuse me. I feel like there's going to be some massive changes to that. I don't know if it's going to be the same as we've had it in the past. I'm probably 90% sure that it's not going to happen. It's not going to be the same thing. It's going to be something completely different, and I feel like that's going to involve whether it be a storyline or whether it be the Industrial Age Revolution. That's just me, but let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section down below. But immediate update, look, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say because I really don't know what they're going to do, and I just don't know what they could be doing. What I would love to see, and again, I don't think this would be in their pipeline or not, but I would love to see a change in base rating. Okay, now I don't feel like the base rating should be changed in a sense where you could rate each other, but I feel like there should be, I guess, a rewarding system that rewards those people that use or speak with Korra to attain maps to rating other player bases. So I feel like that's something that could be in a short to medium term. So for me, if it was me, I'd like to see that as a change in the system. I would actually like, as a base, for the rewards to be more centric to what we have now within the game in terms of what we're after. So I did sort of see that in my last video, but I'd like to see more of that. I think that's what I would like to see. Possibly, in conjunction with that, rating specific food buffs maybe that enables you to get better rewards or things of that nature. But the reward system that I sort of refer to is maybe if you do five raids, then after the fifth one you get like a special tier raid. It could be harder, so there could be like a difficulty level scale. And I feel like that can be very, very achievable. And I only say that because there is another game very similar to Westland that has a similar system in place when it comes to maps and things like that. So yeah, I'm talking about Mutiny. So I feel like they could utilize that mechanic and bring it into Westland. So in fact, I feel like that should be something that they could easily do and basically re-skin it in a sense, and make it more Westland-like. But I feel like that could be something that could be a bigger endeavor, but I feel like that's something that could be an easier win as well. So, and I reckon that could be a really good implementation to bring that sort of stuff into the game as well. So, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts about that one in the comment section. I feel like that would be a really good one, but that's just me. Anyway, guys, look, wow, I'm just looking at the timer now. We are nearly 30 minutes into this video, so I am going to call it. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out this video here. Please leave a like, comment down below, share if you can, and if you guys are new to the channel or not, and you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you don't miss out on any future videos. Alrighty guys, take it easy, and I will catch you guys in the next one.